I am Tom Sfisco, and this is Project My Life.
Project My Life, March 14th, 2018. I'm heading in to do a little Project My Life interview with Tom Sfisco of Design Studio of Somerville. Met Tom about 5-6 years ago, 13. We were still in the old studio. So 2013 we met Tom. We were into Pseudo's, this high-end men's warehouse, Italian menswear. When we first moved into Somerville, just trying to meet people and get familiar with the business owners. And Pseudo was one of our first stops because it was just a high-end Italian menswear. And the owner, Ernst, super nice dude. Fly-looking dude, like always dressed like he just stepped out of a GQ magazine. Him and his two sons, really down-to-earth, good people. Anyway, he was doing a grand opening, his new spot. Met Tom in the back with his husband, and we started talking about a few things, and one thing led to another. We became super friendly, and I'll stop there because it's cold out and I'm walking around with this stuff, talking to a camera.
Let's start with that as maybe an intro. So I'm with Tom Sfisco. I gave a little intro as I was walking here, and I want to. Do you know what Project My Life is? The concept of it?
I've heard of it.
Explain if you could.
Refresh me.
So it's a multitude of different things, but Project My Life is, I feel like our journeys throughout life is a project, and it's kind of never ending. You're always working on it, right? So everybody has a story to share, and everybody has ups and downs and trials and tribulations, and I'm always talking to different people from different aspects of life. There's always some common thread though, and it's usually fitness or bodybuilding or entrepreneurship or business stuff. You happen to kind of fit in all those categories, and you've actually been considered a close friend recently.
Absolutely.
We've kind of like the past couple of years, we only met like maybe 5 years ago. I was trying to think on the way here, like 2013 I think.
About that, yeah. Yeah, it's 5 or 6 years. Yeah.
We were new in town in Body, and
When was your first studio opened?
2010 we opened.
And then I met you...
Probably 11 or 12 maybe.
Right, yeah.
The first year, because we were doing our rounds, walking around town, trying to talk to different business owners and get to know them. We didn't actually walk into your business, which we're standing in now, and we'll get to in a second, but we actually walked into Pseudo's, and we became friendly with Ernst.
Correct.
Top-notch place. Like, if we're new in town, I want to do business with that guy's business.
Absolutely.
And he was a really cool guy, and we should share, his story too. He's got a nice story. That being said, Tom was in the back with his husband. Sounds a little creepy, but he was just in the back there because we were doing he was doing a grand opening.
Correct.
And you actually designed the whole interior of his new store. Your husband and I, John, got to start talking about Equinox. We both worked for Equinox.
Correct.
And then you just happened to be there as his, arm candy.
Arm candy.
And just, of course, looking the way he looks, as always. And we started BSing, and you told me about this place, and we started rapping, and became, kind of instant, friends. But more so in the past couple of years, we've shared a lot of, stories with each other. So Project My Life is me just talking. I love to talk.
Yes.
And I love to talk about weird shit. And I love to be open, honest, and just vulnerable.
A lot of weird shit.
A lot of weird shit.
Definitely.
Some shit you don't even want to know what Tom and I talk about.
That's another take.
That's another take. That being said, I want to just give you a chance to speak your message. And you've been doing some redoing of the Tom Sfisco and Design Studio of Somerville brand. And you're working with Eric. Right, that's going to be cool, kind of, or somebody. I don't know. I don't want to.
We're interviewing.
We're interviewing, right? You know who my favorite is, though. But anyway,
yes.
The process of personal development, personal branding, and here we are today. And I want to make sure that you're okay with talking about some weird shit and how far of the weird shit you're willing to talk about, and put this out there.
Okay. There's always editing, so we can ask whatever you want.
I'm not going to ask anything. I'm not going to ask anything crazy. It's going to be about your business, your story, and I've been wanting to sit on the porch with you and share bourbon, which we will do one day. and talk about who you are, because it helps me discover who I am.
Okay.
And that's what Project My Life is all about.
Okay.
So now, without the bourbon, we probably could have bourbon, but we don't have it on hand right now. Just talk about you, your story, and that's it. It'll help with your website stuff. Eric can pull stuff from that, and we can just kind of use it for a bunch of different stuff.
Okay.
I have cotton mouth from talking so damn much.
Would you like a water?
So if you have one,
Yes.
I do have a water.
Cotton mouth.
I have water
Would you
downstairs.
like one, Quinn?
I have my water downstairs,
Okay.
but thank you though. I
Go
appreciate
interview Gene for a minute.
it.
I'm walking through here right now. It's been a while.
Yes. It has been a while for you. What do you notice different?
This whole area was different. I can't remember what was going on here. That wall's the same, but
Well-
this was like
Well, what it was, this was all part of the showroom that you see as you walked in through the front. But upon Gene's suggestion is to make this more of a design consulting area to show action of designers working. That it's not just a retail furniture store.
love it.
And eventually...
That was your idea, Gene?
No, it wasn't my idea.
Yes, it was!
I'll give Tom the credit.
So I'm still testing the idea of taking all furniture out of here and just having this as a design studio project room of designers with fabric swatches on the wall and get rid of the retail all through here and make swatches down the hall. This way, different vignettes, window treatment samples, so it looks a little more kind of a call to action that it's just not furniture to buy here.
Also minimal. I look around and you guys do a great job of it, but there's a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of stuff here.
Like, but you do such a good job, it doesn't look like cluttered. Like there's 4 things on that wall right there.
Right.
But I would never know it because things are in front of it, and the way you have these placements make a difference.
Correct.
So that just leads us into what exactly you do here at Design Studio of Somerville.
Well, our main goal, we are driven for interior design services. This store is really turned into a living portfolio. Instead of having a portfolio, you can come down and see exactly what we do and not limited to what you see here. So I wanted to be a retailer, but realized that I am an interior designer with a retail location. And I was putting all my eggs in the retail business, and in the meantime, loving and flourishing in design. So I'm gearing it more towards that.
So what's your mission statement? I hear you've been working on that lately.
I have.
What is it?
It might be a little long. I may have to take some of the words out.
Talk to me. Talk to us.
Okay. My mission statement that I worked on in the snowstorm last week: to deliver attainable luxury home furnishings and design services so that our clients and designers feel connected, fulfilled, and exhilarated by a well-designed home. I may have to tighten that up a little bit, but it kind of has the essence.
It's got everything in it.
It does, and the words fulfillment and connection are probably the most important to me.
Well, there you go. Top 3 words. If you were to say, Tom Sfisco, Design Studio of Somerville is 3 words, what would it be? Doesn't have to be a sentence, but what would the 3 words be?
Well, interior design.
So 2 words. You're taking up 2 words with that.
It's just 3 words randomly that
Yeah.
they may not mean anything.
Yeah.
Fulfillment,
Perfect.
connection,
Okay.
and design.
Okay. That.
Yes.
The artist is connected to that. How does Tom Sfisco fit into that? So
Because I loved it enough to buy it, so there had to be something about it I loved, and I was connected to it.
And
To
you're-
him
and
or
you're-
her. I don't know who did that, but
And you're going to find somewhere for that, based upon people who walk through your door, that may be something that would fit perfectly in their living room.
well, that could be the beginning to a whole room of design if somebody just bought that and said, I love this, but I don't know what to do with it. And we would start with that one print and just go off on it for our upholstery fabrics, our paints, our carpets, our floors, accessories, or it could room be started with your furnishing.
All this stuff is new setup. So your goal here now is to make this place look like a workstation, but also show your pieces off and create some,
Action.
inspiration when you're doing your design.
Correct.
Person A walks in here off the street, man and woman or woman, whatever. they sit down with somebody, and is that how the process works here? Or they can just walk around and buy furniture?
Oh, they can certainly walk around and buy furniture. Most of the time, I would say 100% of the time, they're just not going to say, I'll take that chair, I'll take that sofa. They want to know more about it, number one. They want to know if it can come in other fabric. And then if they're really not sure it's going to fit, that's when I encourage a visit by one of our designers to come to the house. Because I don't want you to spend $2,000 on a sofa and it's the wrong shape, depth, color.
I don't see design when I don't see interior design when I walk in here. Is that what you're talking about? Redesigning it to look like a little bit more of an interior design place with furnishings to go
No,
along.
my goal is, because I do care about, what they're getting and if it's going to be right. So I'm taking that retail moment and turning it into a moment where they're going to get some help to figure their space out in their room. And it gets my foot in the door, because it could be totally the wrong sofa for them. Just by the depth, the arm style, that's what we go in and try to check out. And we'd rather say yes before you put the money down on it.
Okay, I would be honest with you. Walk to the store, and I would know right off the top that I was going to be paying a lot of money.
And why?
It's just it gives you that sophisticated, luxurious feeling and vibe. Now that may or may not be what you're looking to do. I love it, and you furnished our home, which is awesome. And we don't have a gigantic house. We have a perfect little house for us. And you design it perfectly. It's super comfy. We feel very comfortable in each and every room. You just came over today, matter of fact.
Yes, I
You
did.
moved some things around.
Well, the first word of my mission statement is to deliver attainable luxury.
Attainable within everybody's means.
Correct.
Or with everybody's budget.
Correct.
So you have
Interior designer is not the same concept as it was way back
I
when.
tell my dad, Tom's an interior designer. Oh, nice country.
Right.
That's my dad,
Right.
like interior designer. Like you had a design. Anthony had a designer come into his house.
Right.
And that's like because it's like this feeling of being kind of next level. You know what I mean?
Exclusive.
Exclusive.
But here's the thing: when you're spending,
In our thing, outside.
Hi.
Excuse me.
Hello. Hi. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm Anthony. Good, thank you.
I'm Donna.
Don, nice to meet you.
we're being filmed right now.
It's okay.
What were we saying?
I forgot.
How interior designers are
Labeled differently.
labeled bougie or high end
I'm
or
not sure if you used the word bougie.
I used to.
Cameraman.
I think there's a certain air that an interior designer is going to be expensive. Number one, they're going to be too opinionated and almost have an attitude or make you feel bad about what you have. Once.
And why is that? Just kind of.
Because that's the way the stigma was back then. And when I got into the business, I always wanted people to feel, number one, comfortable coming to a place like this and taking down that whole concept and destroying it, that you can have someone work with you on your home, but do it in a way that is comfortable for your budget, make them part of the process so you're not just throwing all your ideas on them, because otherwise the room is not going to look as though it's their home. It's going to be the look of a magazine. It's going to be the look of what I think it should be, where I would rather work with, like in your home, you had some traveled pieces of artwork and things that were important to you. And I wanted those things so I could then add to it to build on your feeling you want your home to be. You're living there, not me.
So how do you do that process of getting to know that person who walks through your door?
I come to your house first before I will sell you one thing. I need to see the rooms you want to do. I need to measure. I need to see who's living there and the age of the people living there. Because obviously, if you showed me a magazine picture and you had a 2-year-old running around and it was a pure white sofa, I'd be like, guys, you're not at the stage in your life where you're going to get a pure white sofa. So it's really function first and then form afterwards.
Perfect.
Right.
Couple of questions, obviously. So, what brings you to Somerville? You've been in business since 19 what?
I started business in my mother's home in April of 1989 because I was born and raised here as well, as my parents were.
So you're born in Somerville.
I'm rooted into concrete here.
Okay. So that's one reason why you're here. Now you decided to open up your business in Somerville. and that's just because it's your town you grew up in, or?
Well, I grew up here, obviously, but I also, while I was in college, at community college in Raritan Valley, there was a men's clothing store here at the time, when the original Pathmark Mall was here.
Right.
And it was called K Quarterly.
By Starbucks.
Yes, in that center there. It was a whole different center at the time. But I got a job there, and I fell in love with retail, number one, and I realized that I had a talent for putting textiles together, layering color, and it just became a passion of mine at the time. And I did think I was going to go into men's retail and open up my own store.
You did then?
I didn't open anything. I stayed at that job for about 6 years.
You thought it was going to be men's retail?
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great. But then when I needed some extra money and I thought blind business, Peeping Tom, and it took off, then I realized that something else was being born creatively for me.
How did those two things come together, Peeping Tom and blind? Like,
Well, I needed money.
So you
I
just
had
said,
$400 left to my name, and I thought how easy it could be to put up blinds. So I found a manufacturer, bought $400 worth of books. I had no more money left, and I had to come up with a name quickly.
But did you have like a request to put up a blind?
Nope.
I'm going to put up blinds.
Nope. And I was still working for the girl that owned K Quarter. Her name was Karen Feldman. And I popped in one day and I was still working for her. I said, I got to come up with a name quickly for this business because someone wants me to do work. And she said to me, well, why would you put up blinds in your house? You got to think that way. And I said, well, I wouldn't want anybody looking in. I would want coverage at night. I said, I really wouldn't want, God forbid there's a Peeping Tom in the neighborhood.
Done.
And she looked at me and she's like, T, that's it. That's the name. And that's how it happened.
Peeping Tom.
Yeah.
Blinds, dude. Anyway, so you put up blinds for a while?
Mini blinds, vertical blinds, pleated shades, and then I thought, well, how hard could it be to paint and wallpaper and add that service to my blinds? So I began a painting and wallpaper service. I went to Rodelico's in town. I got a video on how to hang wallpaper, and I tested it out in my mother's bathroom. And after that, I had my first wallpaper job and did it very well.
And then here we are today doing design. Where's the transfer of years, man?
It's just, well, one thing that my father always said, because at that point I thought, I want to open my own store. I sell blinds, I sell wallpaper, I hang it, I paint. I need a little shop now. And he had said, let your customers push you to the next step. Don't push yourself to the next step or it's going to fail. So I waited, and with that, I had clients asking, can you go furniture shopping with me? What color paint would you use if you're going to do the painting? Can you help me with that? I was like, sure. So the process kind of organically started to grow without realizing I was building a design firm that will now next year be 30 years in business. Yeah. So I'm very proud of that.
Hell yeah, I'm in business.
And I did it all by myself in the beginning, but with the help of my staff now, there's no way I could not.
Staff of how many are you looking at?
There are approximately 15 of us, between designers, administrative people, operation manager, inventory manager, event planners, designers. There's 6 of us.
All right, that sounds like rainbows and unicorns, dude. Right? You're happily married. You're married to John.
Yes.
John's a Pilates instructor over at Body. One of a kind. You're never gonna meet a gentleman like this ever again in your life.
One of the funniest guys you'll ever meet.
Yeah, most genuine too, and he's a great Pilates instructor. So I recruited him, and he's over there a couple times a week. But side note, so there's some deep roots here. So he's happily married to John. Great business. Sounds like rainbows and unicorns, dude.
Yes.
That's not like a project to me. That's just like, luck. Right? Everybody says luck. Luck is all luck, right? So I want to hear about, like, if you're willing to share, like your lowest moment in career and business, and how this was affected by it. And because from the outside, I mean, we've had these conversations, right? We keep it real. Overall, of course you have moments, but you're happy, right?
Correct.
You're happy with who you are.
I'm happy every day I wake up.
Right.
And so happy that I do what I do.
Love what you do here.
So I can't say there was ever a low moment in this business because it always just kept growing. It did have its pitfalls when, cash flow wasn't there, and then I decided to move from that small space to this larger space and realized I had nothing to fill this huge place up except blind books and wallpaper books. And that's when I decided to go into the furniture business.
Interesting. So this opportunity came up where you had a big space
Yeah.
for just design and just wallpaper. And
Originally, the wallpaper, the fabric books for we were doing some reupholstery work at the time for people, and the blinds I thought was going to fill up this entire upstairs. And then when I got here, it only like filled up this room. And I thought, now what am I going to do? I'm paying for all the square footage. I have to layer on more to what we can offer. So
your clients pushed you.
they pushed me to the next step.
Next step.
Because I was going to all other furniture stores and ordering furniture for them. I thought, well, why can't I do that if I was able to do that?
Right.
And then I booked my first trip to North Carolina to the major furniture show. No idea what I was doing. Hooked up with a few vendors, and that's how it began. I walked around North Carolina not knowing one thing I was doing. And then taught myself the furniture business.
Furniture meaning as far as design or
No, as far as like
upholstery?
why is that chair $3,000 and that one's $300 at a big box discount home furnishing store? So I learned how a chair was built on the inside, the fillings that were used. Was it glued together? Was it screwed together? Was it 8-way hand tied? Those are the things that I didn't know that I learned along the way.
So these pieces right here, like, Quinn, you can zoom in on this? This is like, I guess, one of your workstations?
Yes.
Wait, you want me to zoom in on this chair or you?
No, the chair. We can go to that one over there. I just want to create some different kind of walk through it a little bit. These are your workstations, right?
Yes.
I love this. Where would you put something like this?
This actually is meant for a kitchen table or a casual dining room. It's got 2 drawers on either side for utensils or placemats. And it really could sit 6 people, 2, 2, and 1 and 1. So it's meant as a kitchen or casual dining space piece. But I thought it had a tin top covered in metal. I thought it would make a great cool
It is a good workstation, man.
workstation.
I love that.
Yes.
It's
Great table.
Tom hooked me up, or designed my office, and there's a glass table. It's long like this. I
Right.
love it. And this would be too thick for my office, I think, right?
Too heavy. Your
Too
room
heavy.
is shorter.
Right.
Your room is darker. This color wouldn't have been good. The top would have been too dark. And it wasn't the aesthetic you wanted. You wanted cool, sleek,
Right.
a little sexy. We put a little chrome, a little glass.
Very cool. You pulled some stuff out of this guy. You starting to pull some stuff out?
Yes, Kim has been integral in getting me to
Good.
think more about my why and my how and my what. As Anthony tried to 3 years ago, but I wouldn't listen.
I was busting his balls. I wanted to be in that conversation because that's fun to and I'm like, what is it? Because he would be cooking in
That's okay.
he'd be cooking in the house, one of his events, and everything is just like perfect. Besides writing a cookbook, I'm like, I'd always be picking his brain, like, what is this? And he would just rattle off these things. I'm like, that needs to be in the website. That stuff, that's like Tom, and that's what makes you special and what you do here.
Well, unbeknownst to me, all those things that were flying out of my mouth, this one was writing down on Post-it
That's what I
notes.
heard. That's brilliant, though.
It is brilliant.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
But I always was so busy on focusing on this retail store and my design clients that I never had time to really sit and want to do it. So now that I kind of want to be more part of just into design, I needed to figure out who I was because I was struggling being a retailer and a designer. And I love this living portfolio, but I like being a designer.
Yeah, that's what fulfills him.
Yes.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
Yeah.
Dude.
It's a lot of
Big
overhead.
stress.
It is.
Yeah.
Like, I don't.
Not that bad.
Just different. Why are you trying to play cool, man?
You've
Like,
had
you know,
some
as an
overhead. You've had some overhead too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what it's all relative, right? But the way different businesses work, we can know what we can predict the next month.
Right.
In this business, it's like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months,
Right.
no money. But you got to put money out. You're looking at like ins and outs. Like my wife, Karen, she's amazing with dealing with that micro stuff on at every daily level. So when I'd be like, oh, let's just buy it, she's like, no, you're not, dude. Like, pay attention. That's why you filed for bankruptcy, 20 years ago. And she keeps us like really nice and neat.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good balance.
Well,
for
not,
you.
not,
business
not,
like
after,
this, she
not
would-
after
she
my
would-
visit to your house today, but go ahead.
No, she told me about it already. But a business like this, like even contracting businesses, how they're different, like floating that money for months, like she would lose her mind. It's difficult, but that's your business model. I think design would be kind of the next level for you. You're not old, but do you really want to be dealing with like all this stuff, or is scalable is the
Yeah.
term? You know what I mean? Like, what's
Just want to scale it down so it represents what we do, and not have so much.
right?
You know, but you have to have it to represent different styles and taste level. When people come in, they need to see like something that may or may not be, you know, they may hate this, and other people love this. So I'm trying to.
Now, I wish I would buy a house so I could put
Just
this
to put
in
this in
it.
it, yeah.
Right.
Hi, Quinn.
Hey.
I met you when I was with
Yeah,
Molly.
like this,
Oh,
Isn't that
At
great?
Sally
it's a
House.
different kind of.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Good to see. You're a videographer now?
This is
No, no, I just work for Body. So anything this big guy needs, I'm
Good for
there.
you.
Yeah.
This is brilliant.
Yes. Thank you. I'm not the designer of it, but I did select it from a very talented lady.
Yeah, no, it's just like this is something. But that's your connection. That's how you're connected to your people. Is you find a piece like this, you love it. It's obviously amazing. And I just love it. It's very light over here too. I don't know if you purposely did it like that, but I love this. This is the perfect
Everything
piece.
that you see
Of
here
course,
has purpose.
it's for the eye.
Intentional.
Yes,
Right? No, this is brilliant. It looks like looks like the skylights over here.
it does, doesn't it?
And like, look, the ceilings are kind of high, but it looks like they're super high.
Could be our new halogen light bulbs, LEDs.
And I lost a question because I have a lot going through the head. This would be, I asked with the table being, or the end table being more masculine, and I don't remember your answer.
Which end table?
The one Eric's, you looking to get,
What was your question?
is it masculine? Would be considered masculine?
It's got a more masculine look, but that could make a great bar cart in the family room, and with beautiful liquor bottles and an ice bucket. So it may look masculine in that setting, but in a
Right.
different setting it might not.
You can
If
change
it was
it.
painted white and came in another finish, it could look more shabby chic and kind of girly and soft.
You can design it. You can customize that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I want
Wait,
this.
I do not want to be.
You were already in like 10
I
minutes.
know.
of
I was
this.
like, no.
Yeah, for 25 minutes. Yeah.
All right, thank you very
Bye,
much.
Kim. Thank
No,
you.
Dude, this is great.
Isn't that great? So this is what just sold. This is the girl came in, she said, oh my God, I love everything about this space. So she bought the entire sofa, the ottoman, the chair, and the artwork all in one clip. That's what I'm trying to gear the next bit of displays so it's all collected and people say, I want that. Just the way it is. It's always a challenge because of the space of my store.
Right.
So going forward in buying, we're going to display what we have left in the warehouse. Going forward, when I go to the next buying show, each space that you see is going to have one tight collected look. And we're going to represent kind of beachy coastal, modern kind of chic, more traditional tufted Chesterfield style sofa, and maybe something else in between.
I love it. It's kind of like that now a little bit, right?
Right, but it gets a little disjointed.
Gotcha. Because there is a lot of stuff.
It gets a little disjointed, so I'm learning to kind of calm that down a little bit.
Yeah, I love
But it doesn't feel cluttered to you, does
I'm
it?
trying to get an angle for both of you to be in the shot, but it's
cool, man.
So it doesn't feel cluttered to you, does it?
No. Yeah, no, not at all. It's a very nice path.
Or overwhelming?
Um,
Or just visually overwhelming because there's so much to look at?
yeah, no. Certain things that just, we only see kind of one-dimensional. So there's certain things I'm sure that are really cool. If I take my time and then look all around, like, wow, there's a lot of stuff in here. And then, like, it's a little bit kind of overstimulating. But then again, my brain's a
Well,
little
my
bit-
fear is clutter.
No,
I don't want it to look cluttery,
No.
clutterish.
Well, if you mentioned it, now it could look a little, because I'm noticing everything.
Okay?
But when you walk in first time, just kind of like oblivious, no. Certain things grab your attention, like that grabbed my attention on the way in. I didn't see that table walking on the way in. That's a really nice piece.
It's beautiful. It's a trestle table with 2 butterfly leaves, and it's a long table.
Damn, this is new too. I didn't see
This
this.
is brand new, yeah. Isn't that nice?
You
Came on the
can't.
floor, we already sold 4 of them. That's what you want furniture to do on a retail level, is turn more than just once.
Dude, but look at the size of this. Like, what are the size of the houses that you're putting in?
Well, people are buying it, and see right here where the seam is?
Yeah.
This is the leaf. So this will come out, and the table really is only about 88 inches. So that's about the length of your dining room table. Like this would fit with leaves if you were entertaining in your current dining room. And you don't live in a huge McMansion,
Right.
so it would work because it's a narrow table as well.
Wait, there's no way, dude.
Your table from here to here is what your table size is now.
Is it
If you had company, you would pop in these breadboard leaves, and you could seat probably 12 to 14 people at this comfortably.
Tom, we were talking downstairs about your journey to this. You were in the paper a few times, and we're gonna get like a shot of you walking up. What is that beeping that I hear like every 45 seconds?
It's someone entering and leaving the building from the back.
Perfect. Are they robbing the place?
No, the employees are punching out to go home.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how many employees do you have? 14? So we gotta hear it in another 13 and
No,
a half
it should be done right now.
Wait for it.
I'm only fucking with you. So throughout that process, we've talked on a personal level. I'm not sure if I asked you off the record if you're willing to share some of your stories. You've been through some heartfelt stuff outside of here, and you talk about it quite often. When I asked you before, like your lowest point, not about business. Business has always been like, you know, on the up and up, so to speak. And you've always catered it to your level of business. So if you were, you know, maybe not having enough clients, you would sell more product, and you kept a nice flow of business. On a personal level, what has been your lowest moment? Because as an entrepreneur myself, I mean, there's some stuff that my personal life affect my business, and it takes a different kind of mindset to become happy, which is the ultimate goal we talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Darkest moment.
Well, thank God for the business, number one, because when those dark moments happened, I was able to shift my energy and put it towards this, which is my passion. So if I didn't have it, I don't know if I would have made it through those dark moments, number one. One of the dark moments in my early 40s was losing my partner, Carmen at the time, unexpectedly to suicide. So that happened in November 10th of 2004, and my mother, who had been ill at the time, she ended up having a massive stroke and died 1 week later. So I was in a funeral home one weekend burying my partner, who I was with for 6 years, building a home together, and then the following weekend I was burying my mother. So that was probably one of the lowest points in my life.
Probably. How does that happen?
At holiday time.
November, yeah.
So Thanksgiving came, Christmas came, New Year's came, and then finally by New Year's I was like, this is too sad. I can't do this anymore, because I'm not a sad guy. I wake up happy every day. And I figured I'm going to have a party, a going away party for Carmen and my mother at my mother's home in Somerville. And I had everyone dress in white, and they were to come over, and it was going to be a celebration of those two lives, of the two most dearest people at that point.
Your mom's house, which is the house you grew up in.
Right, and at the time I was owner of the house because my parents had separated, which was another low point at another decade in my life. And I wanted to sell it. I just wanted to get rid of it. It needed work. It had gone into disrepair. My grandfather had built it, and my mother was born and raised there, and she died there. And that was, that was a major source of love and happiness, that house. And I wanted to sell it to one of my sisters for their families. And when I had the party that night, so many people came in, and even when it was like needed work and was outdated, a lot of my friends said, Tom, this house has so much charm to it. What are you doing? Don't sell it. Sell your townhouse. You move in here. I was like, nah. And then the next day I was like, they're right. So I put my townhouse up for sale, sold it in 2 months, and took all the profit from that and renovated it. Kept the original bones and flavor of what the house should be, and I'm so glad I did it.
Your house is amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. I love it. I love going home.
Like, you just feel like you're in a magazine, but you don't feel stuffy like you would if you were in a magazine, like a photo shoot for a magazine.
Well, it feels like me.
It's right, warm and fuzzy.
Because I picked things that meant something to me. That maybe I made a shell lamp when I was in 4th grade with my mother on the beach in Long Beach Island, And she said, here's this lamp, we're gonna go collect shells.
Wait, you have that?
I do.
Where?
I have it up in my dressing room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's got a dressing room. This guy. Why am I not
Why
surprised?
not? Look, why not?
All right. So what were we just talking about? Let's finish that up. I mean, that's some powerful stuff. So throughout this whole process, you're still running a business, trying
Yes.
to manage your business, right? Now, did you have staff helping you out at the time, or?
Yes, I had an assistant, my sister Karen, who's been with me for 27 of the 29 years, going on 30. She was my rock, and my other siblings live in town too. And staff-wise, Cindy, who's been with me 20 years, was here. So I had people to not only fall back on to kind of keep the cash flow and the business going, but if I came in here and broke down and cried that day, we would all stop what we were doing. So it's a very special group of employees, friends that has worked over the years. It has worked, and normally those two combinations don't work, but it has, and I think that is because of me, that I realize there's a professional end and there's a friend end, and I try to help them understand we can't cross it, but you're having a bad day, I'm having a bad day, let it out, talk it out, take a half hour. We're not watching the time clock here.
That's super. Now, when did you become aware of that? Because I'm a very friendly guy, and I become close with people. I don't let that many people into my personal circle, but when I do, I feel like they're my family.
Correct.
And I have a lot of acquaintances. I know a lot of people. There's only a few people that I literally consider my inner circle. And when we first started growing the business, there was a few people who became friendly because we're sharing a very powerful journey. They're losing 100 pounds. They're losing 85 pounds. They're changing their life. They never felt better. They never looked at, and I'm their coach. I'm helping them, inspiring them. I'm pushing them. And I'm going through this with them. And then we get to a point where it was a friendship. So I brought a couple people on that were, friendly. And as a young entrepreneur, I wasn't really clear on,
That line.
So it was a lot of blurry areas. And I also wasn't as in touch with who I was. So I would react, and I would overreact, and I wouldn't be so mindful of my words and better at, I've gotten better at communicating my message. We talked about that when your message here. And that's good that you were able to, keep those friends, because I don't talk to anybody who used to be there. And
No, there's a handful of people that have left here that I will probably never speak to again, but I never, and maybe that's why, we never connected on a friendship kind of level, like
Right.
I just didn't connect with them possibly. And at the end, they didn't prove to be a good employee choice.
So did you go to school to be this entrepreneur?
No, I
You
didn't.
mentioned
I
college
didn't.
earlier. You didn't take business classes or nothing.
I did while I was at, it was called Somerset County College at the time, which is now Raritan Valley
Raritan
College.
Valley.
So I'm really dating myself at this point.
What year are we talking?
I graduated, I did the 2-year degree in 3 years, so I was really bright at that time. But I didn't,
Well, why weren't you bright though? Because of school? Look at what you've created, dude.
School was a great experience.
Yeah.
But at that point, when I did get my degree in 3 years, I was going to go off to Rider College in Lawrenceville and actually pursue a business degree. And when it came closer and closer, as August was approaching, you'd send the money for the books. My father was on me, we got to send the money. I'm like, okay. And he said, well, you're going to have to get back and forth since you're not living there. I'm going to have to get a car.
Great story.
And I said, okay, we're going to get you a used car. And you will pay half of the payment, and our family business will pay for the insurance. I'm like, great. So we ride up to Flemington, Ditchman, Flemington, whatever it was at the time called, Ditchman, Ford, Flemington. Anyway, we pull up, and we're going to go to the used car lot. And as we pull up, he pulls up in front of the main front doors, and there's this bright red, brand new, shiny Mustang. Had the louvers on the back, and had the bra on the front. And I was like, wow, look at that car. I said, someday. He said, you like that kind of car, huh? I go, I do. He goes, what if that got you back and forth to college? And I said, yeah, I would love that. I said, but how much is that going to cost? He goes, it's going to cost you $164 a month but you have to give me your word you're going to finish college. It is yours. And I couldn't have been more excited. Never drove a 5-speed in my life, bucking down the highway.
Brand new Mustang.
Brand new Mustang. So that was maybe like in May. So now that the school is approaching and it's August, and I made this deal, I didn't want to go. I had met my girlfriend. I was in love at the time. We all think we're in love at 20 years old, and I probably was. I was. And I didn't want to leave her. Like even driving to Lawrenceville back and forth, like I just wanted to hang out with her. So Peeping Tom was kind of starting, and I was like, I don't need to go to school. So I said, I'm not going. And that did not go over well. And I was always accused of not being a man of my word.
Does it bother you to this day?
It does.
Yeah. How could it not, right?
Yes.
But what do you do? How do you can't fix it? So what do? Do you correct it?
I just correct it by keep working and proving my father wrong,
Right.
even while he's 6 feet under.
Right.
I'm still proving that I still made it work.
Because you made a mistake. You're right.
Right.
Because he said, I need your word. You said, you got my word. So you put yourself out there. So
I feel bad. So I always try to be a man of my word now, because that taught me a lesson.
Sure.
But I was young and cocky and man of my word. Of course I am.
Yeah. So you kept the car?
Till I wrapped it around a telephone pole.
Yeah.
Yes.
Were you drinking and driving?
No.
Smoking
I
and
was
flying?
No, I've never smoked anything in my life.
Damn it.
Not even a cigarette, not one puff.
That's unfortunate.
Right.
What were you
I was a
saying?
very good boy until I was about 33, and then I stopped dating women and dated men.
So you're gay too? A
Yeah.
gay designer?
Yeah.
Jeez.
So unstereotypical.
Damn. I love you, man.
I love you too.
It's funny, we're under the sign. We gotta get a picture of the sign. Maybe that could be your picture from Somerville cover this time, brother. With it says, "Darling, I love you," and I'd love to get. You see Cheech's on.
I can see the whole thing above him.
With it was whatever he did with the color balance. It was like a really cool shot.
Right.
So I'd love for us to get a picture like that, something in the background, and Eric will work his magic with it.
Okay.
Damn, bro, that's great.
And that's just one of many stories.
Yeah, I know. We share them all the time, man, and that's why I feel like there's so much that you give to your work, and there's so much that goes behind being a business owner. If you want to be on the surface with it, I mean, people they're not going to really know half these stories. That people who watch this aren't going to know, a lot of the other stories that we share, but they're going to know you as a designer, and a lot of times they get stereotyped. But if you know somebody. Never judge a book by its cover. I just put something on Instagram, the other day about it may look like this, but you don't know kind of my story. So talking to
anybody, you don't know.
You don't know, but you automatically either categorize or stereotype, or walk in here and think of a certain look or think of a certain kind of impression. Like some people wouldn't. My mom would talk shit about this place. Now that she knows you, she wouldn't. But if she didn't, she'd be like,
"Oh, I've heard people say it.
Fancy, like because I guess that people never had the ability to get there, or achieve that in their life, and it was literally, buying different and having a different lifestyle. And this is not everybody can walk in here and hire you.
But
so
it's just a perception.
It's a perception, but there's still a level of
Income.
Thanks.
What'd you say?
Income. Eric, tell me rule number one. The cameraman never.
But I'll tell you why I said it.
Sorry, everyone.
With the mic, bro? Hey! Everybody all right? Hey!
But I'll tell you why I say that.
That's what it's all about.
I was helping him though. I didn't want him to stumble.
Yeah.
Quid for the win always.
How many? This is why this store may give off the wrong perception, because what I'll see going into someone's home who does hire me, or one of the other designers, they will spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars at a home goods or a big box retail furniture store, and we all know who they are, and they'll spend really good money on that stuff. Number one, they bought it on their own, and when they get it home, they realize something's not right. Why isn't it right? Because they didn't buy the right pieces for their lifestyle, for the room, or who lives there. And I would rather them spend that same money on a better quality sofa and then slowly add on to it. Not that you're going to come here and hire us to do a room and you have to do everything. I would rather you start with one great piece and build on it. And you can add the high-low mix. You can go to a Home Goods and get maybe a great lamp or a jar, but you can't do your whole house that way.
Right.
So my goal is to break that high-end interior design mentality out of people's minds and realize we're here to help facilitate what you want before you go out and spend good money on the wrong thing.
I mean, as long as we get that to people, I mean, I think you laid it all out. That's awesome. How do we get in touch with you if somebody out there wants to get in touch with you?
You can come into the store. You can email me.
Store is located
At 67 West Main Street in downtown Somerville, right in the middle of town. We have a great website, which is...
It's in development. We're redoing it, right? I say we. I'm not a part of it.
Oh,
by
well,
any means.
always needs a little work.
Yeah.
But that's dsosdesign.com. You can visit us there.
I don't think there's anything that wrong with your website. You just want to upgrade it. You
Just want to upgrade it.
You want to,
I
because
think,
you know what? It's a whole process you're going through. It's your next transformation.
yeah, I just don't want to dump it and start over. I think it just needs to be improved upon.
Well, this is just like this. You're not going to dump this. You're going to take some things out. You're going to edit some things. You're going to change some things up around, and you're going to modify that based upon who you are now, realizing that you are. And that's, I think that you kind of like you won by default because you're good at designing. You attracted good quality people. You have great taste, so you buy product and you build this business around that. The most uncomfortable part of it and the process is figuring out who you are, and you can speak directly to that person and get more of those people in here. Like I asked you, like, who was your ideal client? And you said one of them who spent a lot of money wasn't your ideal client because there was no fulfillment. He was mean or just made you feel uncomfortable or pushy or just kind of like. He was kind of like not really getting anything out of it. So
I mean, I'm a businessman, obviously, and we
Sure.
all are in business to make money, and there was money made there. But the reason why I didn't enjoy it, I realized as I thought about it, coming up with my mission statement, there was absolutely no fulfillment, feeling like I did something special that made them feel really good. Everything was micromanaged, scrutinized, questioned why. And I thought, why am I here?
Why are you here? You think it's based
I was just a facilitator of product.
right. Fear-based. We talk about fear-based all the time. What do you think he was afraid of?
Who, that client?
Yeah. You have to get that.
No,
You sure?
the store's closed.
I love that. Carol would have ran over there and grabbed the phone, or Carol would have ran over there and grabbed the phone.
It's after 5:30, we're done.
It's a wrap.
I love that.
I'm not sure because it's hard to see if there's fear or anxiety or inadequacies in that person's personality. But he was bossy. If you didn't give him his way, he was a bit miserable, condescending, a little rude, pushy.
He's a control freak. He wanted to control you, but just pay you to
I don't care if somebody wants to control me, but I don't want to be belittled. And a simple thank you that you helped me. We did this together, Tom. I don't want to take all the credit. But even if somebody said, God, I couldn't have done this without you. We did a great job. And I would be like, we absolutely did.
Yeah.
I couldn't have done it without you.
Well, you said some people come in there and they have their taste. Like it's no lie that everything is out there on the internet now in Pinterest, and there's designs out there.
You can buy any of this stuff probably most anywhere you want, and maybe sometimes for a little bit less. But the intellectual property that we're bringing to the table to make all of this come together in your home has way more value you can't even put a number on.
It's an experience. It's an experience. You came in, you sat down, we came down here, we spent how many hours looking over colors. And I do remember the piece in our you gotta get out of here, we rushing on time? We can wrap it up.
No, it's just I thought somebody was trying to get in the door.
I thought you were giving me a hint, like, yo, it's
No.
The piece that you built the whole table or the whole house off of, is that piece in the living.
You're sectional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. The chess piece.
Oh, the TV piece.
No.
Wait, what? In your
The
house?
piece that I noticed when we were in here, you guys surprised me.
Oh,
What's it called?
the china cabinet
Yes.
in your dining room.
Yeah, and you built the whole house off of that one.
Correct.
Cool, man. All right, dude. I think that you.
What do you like better?
Tommy or Tom?
I am Tom Sfisco, and this is Project My Life.
Oh, so many great outtakes. One more time, everybody. Shh, quiet on set.
I am Tom Sfisco, and this is Project My Life.
That could work.